So I'm just down here today just to do a bit of feeding. Got most of the hives fed up there, but I've come over to feed the abandoned hives or ex-abandoned hives, and we've got a problem. There's liquid dripping out of the hive and a substantial amount of dead bees sitting on the bottom there. So this will mean only one thing. This will mean that the sugar syrup that I put in there has been leaking for the last week. I put a fair bit in these guys, I reckon maybe 2 litres, so let's get into them and find out what sort of a catastrophe awaits. If you want to pick up one of these brand new t-shirts or even one of these fantastic stickers, pop on over to stinghoney.com.au. Hopefully it's not too bad, but judging by the amount of bees on the outside of this box, it's probably going to be horrific. Let's find out. So the syrup looks okay. It doesn't seem to be running down the sides, but it is wet on the edges there. So I'm going to just quickly get rid of this without trying to cause any more issues. But there you go. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just take this box straight off and sort out the bottom. There you go. So just absolute swimming bees in this. It's just so frustrating. I hope none of these are the queen. Anyway, I'll get this cleaned up quickly. So I've cleaned up that base. I gave it a good wash down with some water. Let's check out these bees. So we've got bees still, that's the great thing. I just can't believe how much bad luck one beekeeper can have. So we've got nectar in this frame, that's really good. Small hive beetle larvae love that pollen, but these bees do need pollen. So we've got a little bit of brood. So they are still brooding up, and can't see any eggs in that frame. So this next frame will be the telltale frame because it's a brand new frame and it's just been drawn out. Fabulous. So we've got eggs. And on the other side we've got eggs as well. Okay, so those eggs are like a day old, so we do have a queen still. Okay, so the great news is that there is a functioning queen in this hive. I really want to eyeball her now. So let's see what we can do. I haven't smoked these bees, but it looks like they've taken a substantial amount of losses. So all this has been laid out as well. That brood looks really nice. And on the other side, that's been laid out a few days ago. So that's really good. That means that these bees are still functioning, but they're small again. Every bee that's tried to come into this hive over the last week has probably drowned in that syrup. That brood looks okay. Couple of perforations. Can't see the queen. Nothing in that cup. There's every chance that these bees have absconded. There's every chance that these bees have left this hive with the queen. Maybe today, maybe just now. Oh, there's our queen. Look at that. There she is, just there. Cheeky little monkey went into the bottom of the box. Oh no, there she is. Look at that. Nope. That's really good. I'm so happy. Okay, good. So we've got a queen. That's good. This is, I think what I'm going to do is stick another frame in there, and because their foraging fleet has probably been depleted, I think I'm going to put a hive top feeder on these. I'm just marking all those frames so I know these frames have got sugar in them and they don't get harvested. So I've been testing out these hive top feeders with a couple of my hives. Just got to make sure they're put together before you put the syrup in. This is pretty thin syrup, just 1 to 1. I'm not going to put an enormous amount in, but enough that I probably won't have to feed them for a couple of weeks. I'd probably call that an absolute disaster averted. It's not great, but it looks like they'll live on. While I'm getting into these hives, I may as well get into this other one and let you guys have a bit of a look and see how it's going. Not an enormous amount of traffic. Oh, we've got a few bees though, that's the main thing. A little bit of nectar still stuck in the bottom of there, so I'm just going to get that out. So last time I was in here I put in, I think, 3 frames in the hope that eventually I can get rid of some of these other frames. I have noticed that these little tiny holes have been harbouring small hive beetle larvae or wax moth larvae. They actually have been going back into these burrows and I've had to squish them every time I've been in here. Let's get this end frame out of the way. So the brood on that end frame has been hatching. There aren't any eggs surrounding that. That's a pretty crappy frame, it's got no wire in it. So I'm working towards getting these frames out. So the next frame, it's so old you can hardly even see in, but I think I can see larvae in there. Yes, I can. Maybe not. In actual fact, they're just polished cells. So this is one of the frames I put in last week. So they've utilised that syrup that I've been feeding them and they've drawn this all out. There's a little small hive beetle trying to hide from all the bees in there. Oh, there's another one there. That's a big one. So that's good. Oh, let me put the frame in upside down. Well, I didn't because it wouldn't go there. So the next frame in. Good, we've got some brood. And we've got larvae dotted in around there as well, which is really nice. And this is unsupported comb, so it's really quite floppy. A bit of rubbish down the bottom of the hive. I might actually scrape the bottom of this hive out once I've had a good look inside. So this is a brand new frame I put in, and that's been, it looks like, actually it's laid right out to these edges here. Really nice. And that other side is exactly the same. So many fresh eggs. It'll be a fabulous thing for this hive to have fresh comb for once. I'll pop that frame back in. How nice are these bees? So plenty of brood in this one. Okay, so I'm not pinching any of this brood for the hive next door. I'm just going to let them go and see what happens. This comb, for now, is probably okay, but I will be swapping this out as I go. I'm just going to rotate it out of the box, basically. Haven't seen the queen, that's not a terrible thing. We know we've got eggs. And this is another one that I've put in, and they have filled that with nectar by the looks of things. Yeah, that's just filled with nectar. The same on that side. So this outside frame with the broken lug, this is actually really light, but it's still got some hatching brood and more hive beetle in there as well, small hive beetle. I could just take this out of the box, but what would happen is that it would just weaken the hive a little bit more than it already is. Whether this brood's actually going to hatch or not, that's another question. So let's clean up this bottom of the box. Pop this other frame back in. I would like to eyeball the queen quickly. I might just have another quick look and let you know when I find her. Well, that's definitely weird. I haven't seen the queen, so that's a bit weird. I think I'm just going to, I'm not going to scrape the bottom of this box out. I think, being that I don't know where the queen is, I don't really want to upset the hive too much. And the dirt that is in the bottom is mainly, there's a little bit of chalk brood, but it's mainly sort of the scraps left over from the pollen sub. So another quick sweep and I'll see how I go. There we go. Okay, so I found the queen. She's right there. She's quite slim. I just don't remember her being so slim. She just went on to the other side of the frame. So she is on this frame. I'm just going to put this frame aside quickly and scrape out this box. I'm also going to take out this frame because it's very ordinary. Okay, so that's been cleaned out. Box on top. Broken frame back at the end. Frame with the queen on it. Back in. She looks a little bit sickly. I think that the fact that she's quite thin is a little bit concerning. So we've done all we can for this hive right now. I'll put some more feed on it and we'll pack them up. I know there's been a great response as far as naming these 3 hives, now 2. We've had the Phoenix hive, we've had the BGs, we've had all sorts of fabulous comments. Next time I come down here, a decision will be made. I really like the Phoenix hives, but I think, no, look, I don't know. If you've got any more ideas about names for these hives, let me know. See you on the next one.